So today I just wanted to take a quick look at the 2005, I believe it was a sci-fi TV film, All Souls Day, also known as Dia de los Muertos. So according to this film, the events take place on November 1st. I'm obviously not too well versed in Catholic traditions. I do know that information is incorrect, that All Souls Day is not observed on the 1st, but I do not know too much more beyond that, so I'm just not going to get into that because I just really don't want to misquote anyone's religious beliefs here. So no disrespect intended, we're just going strictly by what the film says here. So on this November 1st, they're saying All Souls Day or Day of the Dead occurs. So essentially this is a zombie film, just a very basic plot. We do start with just somewhat of a, I guess you could say, the historical backstory, in which we do have a brief appearance by Danny Trejo. He is a man who has, I guess you could say, uncovered an enormous bit of wealth here, and he supposedly plans to share it with the townspeople. We later discover that this was a lie and a double cross. He planned to keep all of the money for himself, and he pretty much just killed the town. So from then on, within this particular town, we do have the town's dead pretty much, which just rise on November 1st. And I guess you could say essentially they're seeking some sort of a vengeance. So they're pretty much just restless ghosts or restless spirits, even though they are understood to be zombies, but to my understanding, not really the flesh-eating sort. But we have a group of college kids who come into the town. They pretty much just get stranded, and supposedly it's the town's sheriff who does collect the woman from the accident site. Obviously, the kids coming in wound up getting into an accident. They hit someone, and this woman happens to have her tongue cut out. She does write down or give, knowledge that this was done deliberately to her so that she could not speak, but they just pretty much hand her over to the sheriff without any questions. They don't even ask about, a hospital or paramedic or anything. They're just kind of like, okay, here, take her. We're going to the hotel. We need a rest. We're tired. So that's just kind of doesn't really make too much sense to me. But it is what it is. But they move on to the hotel, and obviously it isn't too long before some of the crazy stuff starts happening. Eventually, we do run back across the sheriff. We find that he actually plans to use this Hispanic woman, I guess you could say, as a sacrifice to, I guess you could say, appease these rising dead so that everyone else can be left in peace. Obviously, she escapes them, and they have to find another quote-unquote sacrifice. So one of the college kids who has come into the town does happen to be a Hispanic female, so big surprise who they're looking at next. But, I had briefly looked at reviews for the film online, and, even in the past I had always been told, avoid this movie, it's bad, it's not that great. And to tell the truth, I did go into it not expecting much because I had been told it wasn't, a very good movie, and honestly, I've seen worse. It was not that bad. It's full of tons of plot holes, that's no secret. Definitely tons of things that really do not make sense. But the acting for the most part is decent. The dialogue is also fairly well written. It doesn't come off as cardboard or robotic. The lighting here and there, it definitely could be a bit brighter, but for the most part it was a well-produced film, and obviously they were not going for some sort of a award. It's a low-budget film. It knows exactly what it is, and it's not trying to be something that it's not. It's presenting to you what they have, and for the most part it's really not too bad a story. For me, the surprise here was just discovering that Danny Trejo was in this. I know he does do quite a bit of low-budget films, but I honestly did not know he was in this one at all. But overall, I guess you could say if you go into this film with low expectations, you know, it actually can be quite enjoyable. Obviously, you do have to ignore quite a bit of these plot holes, and there are numerous things that just really do not make sense. There are a few goofy situations where you totally could just, you know, yell at the screen and criticize the film. But, I mean, like I said, for the most part, it's really not that bad. At least not as bad as I had been led to believe it was. But, you know, definitely a time killer film if you have nothing better to do. But that is pretty much all I have for you guys today, and I will talk to you later.